loving mere folly that hey ho the holly. This life is most jolly.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Wheel of Shakespeare Challenge, our first round for the month of October. I'm here with Maggie, Elizabeth, and Sheila to do randomly chosen monologues and scenes chosen at random by the Wheel of Shakespeare. And the randomly determined order in advance. I will be the first to perform today. Bring up the wheel for myself. Change the layout here a little. That might be better, actually. To get that a little bit bigger. Yeah, stream. Oh, there we go. Yeah, StreamYard's changed a bit. Okay, so I will do the first monologue, and Elizabeth is on deck. She'll go after I do. What's my monologue going to be? Lord Talbot, thou answerest dead. Henry VI. Part one. Okay. Where is my other life? Mine own is gone. Oh, where's young Talbot? Where is valiant John? Triumphant death, smeared with captivity. Young Talbot's valor makes me smile at thee. When he perceived me shrink, and on my knee his bloody sword he brandished over me, like a hungry lion did commence rough deeds of rage and stern impatience. But when my angry guardant stood alone, tendering my ruin and assailed of none, dizzy-eyed fury and great rage of heart suddenly made him from my side to start into the clustering battle of the French. And then that sea of blood my boy did drench his over-morning spirit, and there died my Icarus, my bosom, in his pride. Thou antic death, which laughest us here to scorn, and non thy insulting tyranny, coupled in bonds of perpetuity, two Talbots wing through the lither sky, and the despite shall scape mortality. O thou whose wounds become hard-favored death, speak to thy father, ere thou yield thy breath. Brave death by speaking, whether he will or no. Imagine him a Frenchman, and thy foe. Poor boy, he smiles, methinks, as who should say, had death been French, then death had died today. Come, come, and lay me in his father's arms. My spirit can no longer bear these harms. Soldiers, adieu. I have what I would have. Now my old arms are young in John Talbot's grave. Okay. So Elizabeth is up and Sheila is on deck. So Elizabeth is going to do Morocco, the first road. Merchant of Venice, Act 2, Scene 7.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
I do not know this one at all. So this will be interesting. The first of gold, who this inscription bears, who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire. The second, silver, which this promise carries, who chooseth me shall get as much as he deserves. This third, dull, lead, with warning, all is blunt, who chooseth me must give and hazard all he hath. How shall I know if I do choose the right? Some God direct my judgment. Let me see. I will survey the inscriptions back again. What says the lead casket? Who chooseth me must give and hazard all he hath. Must give for what? For lead? Hazard for lead? This casket threatens. Men that hazard all do it in hopes of fair advantages. A golden mine stoops not to shows of dross. I'll then nor give nor hazard aught for lead. What says the silver with her virgin hue? Who chooseth me shall get as much as he deserves. As much as he deserves. Pause there, Morocco, and weigh thy value with an even hand. If thou beest rated by thy estimation, thou dost deserve enough. And yet enough may not extend so far as to this lady. And yet, to be afeard of my deserving were but a weak disabling of myself. As much as I deserve, why, that's the lady. I do in birth deserve her, and in fortunes, and graces, and qualities of breeding. But more than these, in love I do deserve. What if I strayed no further, but choose here? Let's see once more this saying graved in gold. Who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire. Why, that's the lady. All the world desires her. From the four corners of the earth, they come to kiss this shrine, this mortal breathing saint. The Hyrcanian deserts and the vasty wilds of wide Arabia are as thoroughfares now for princes to come view fair Portia, the watery kingdom whose ambitious head spits in the face of heaven. Is no bar to stop the foreign spirits, but they come as o'er a brook to see fair Portia. One of these three contains her heavenly picture. Is it like that lead contains her? 'Twere damnation to think so base a thought. It were too gross to rib her cerecloth in the obscure grave. Or shall I think in silver she's immured, being 10 times undervalued to try gold? Oh, sinful thought! Never so rich a gem was set in worse than gold. They have in England a coin that bears the figure of an angel stamped in gold, but that's insculped upon. But here, an angel in a golden bed lies all within. Deliver me the key. Here do I choose and thrive as I may.
Hey, for not being familiar with that, you sure got into it nicely. Okay, very good. I'm glad that Bill just joined us. We weren't sure if he would make it, but I'm glad he made it. He is on that. We have Sheila, and then Bill, and then Maggie. Okay, so Sheila's monologue is going to be.
I'm still reeling, by the way.
You're still what?
I'm still reeling from Elizabeth's delivery. It was amazing.
King Henry. Okay, God put you in his mercy. This is after the 3 traitors were identified and arrested. The very Act 2, Scene 2, the very end. So whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Was that the mercy that was quick?
I think God quit you his mercy, or something like that. But it's the very end of the scene after the traitors have been let off.
Okay. Oh, all right. That's further down. All right. God quit you in his mercy. Hear your sentence. You have conspired against our royal person, joined with an enemy proclaimed, and from his coffers received the gold earnest of our death, wherein you would have sold your king to slaughter, his princes and his peers to servitude, his subjects to oppression and contempt, and his whole kingdom into desolation. Touching our person, seek we no revenge, but we our kingdom's safety must so tender, whose ruin you have sought, that to her laws we do deliver you. Get you therefore hence, poor, miserable wretches, to your death. The taste whereof God of his mercy give you patience to endure, and true repentance of all your dear offenses. Bear them hence. Now, lords, for France, the enterprise whereof shall be to you as us like glorious. We doubt not of a fair and lucky war, since God so graciously hath brought to light this dangerous treason lurking in our way to hinder our beginnings. We doubt not now, but every rub is smoothed on our way. And forth, dear countrymen, let us deliver our puissance into the hands of God, putting it straight in expedition, surely to see the signs of war advance. No King of England, if not King of France.
Very nice. So now we have Bill and then Maggie. Glad you made it. Your monologue is going to be the miniest. Coriolanus Act Scene 2 begins I Shall Lack Voice.
Looking for it?
Okay.
Oh, I shall lack voice. Okay. I shall lack voice. The deeds of Coriolanus should not be uttered feebly. It is held that valor is the chiefest virtue and most dignifies the haver. If it be, the man I speak of cannot in the world be singly counterpoised. At 16 years, when Tarquin made a head for Rome, he fought beyond the mark of others. Our then dictator, whom with all praise I point at, saw him fight. When this his Amazonian chin he drove the bristled lips before him, be beskrid and o'erpressed Roman, and in the consul's view slew 3 opposers. Tarquin's self he met, and struck him on his knee. And at these feats, when he might act the woman in the scene, he proved best man in the field, and for his meed was browed down with the oak. His pupil age man entered thus, he waxed like a sea, and in the burnt of 17 battles since, he lurched all swords of the garland. For this last, before and in Coralie, let me say I cannot speak him not home. He stopped the flyers, and by his rare example made the coward turn terror into sport. As weeds before a vessel under sail, so men obeyed and flew below his stern. His sword, death's stamp, where it did mark, it took. From face to foot he was a thing of blood, whose every motion was timed with dying cries. Alone he entered the mortal gate of the city, which he painted with shunless destiny. Aidless came off, and with a sudden reinforcement struck Coralie like a planet. Now all was his. When, by and by, the din of war gan pierce his ready sense, then straight his doubled spirit re-quickened what in flesh was fatigate, and to the battle came he, where he did run reeking o'er the lives of men, as if 'twere a perpetual spoil, until we called both field and city ours, he never stood to ease his breast with panting. See.
Okay, very nice. So lastly, we have Maggie, and it's like we've gone through these kind of quickly. If there's no objection, I'd kind of like to do just everybody let me know. I think we can do 2 rounds of monologues before we spin for scenes. So Maggie,
Sounds great.
yeah. So so we'll do Maggie, and then we'll come back to me at the top and do the 5 of us again before we spin for scenes. We have 2 larger groups. Might as well get a couple monologues in each. Okay, so Maggie's first one is going to be Thus Is Nothing. Act 3, Scene 1. Starting to plan the murder of Banquo. Okay.
Alrighty, where we go? Tragedies. Macbeth 3-1, you said. Scene 1. Okay. To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. 'Tis much he dares, and to that dauntless temper of his mind he hath a wisdom that doth guide his valor to act in safety. There is none but he whose being I do fear, and under him my genius is rebuked, as it is said Mark Antony's was by Caesar. He chid the sisters when they first put the name of king upon me, and bade them speak to him. Then, prophet-like, they hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, and put a barren scepter in my grip, thence to be wrenched with an unlineal hand, no son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for Banquo's issue have I filed my mind, for them the gracious Duncan have I murdered, put rancors in the vessel of my peace only for them, and mine eternal jewel given to the common enemy of man, to make them kings, the seed of Banquo, kings. Rather than so, come fate into the list, and champion me to the utterance. Who's there? Now to the door, and stay there till we call. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so good job with the first round, everybody. Let's get ready for the second round of monologues. And my second monologue is going to be Clarence's Game. Methoughts that I had broken from the tower and was embarked across to Burgundy. And in my company my brother Gloucester, who from my cabin tempted me to walk upon the hatches. Thence we looked toward England, and sighted up 1,000 fearful times during the wars of York and Lancaster that had befallen us. As we paced along upon the giddy footing of the hatches, methought that Gloucester stumbled, and in a falling struck me that thought to stay him overboard into the tumbling billows of the main. Lord, Lord, methought, what pain it was to drown, what dreadful noise of waters in mine ears, what ugly sights of death within mine eyes. Methought I saw 1,000 fearful wrecks, 10,000 men that fishes not upon, wedges of gold, great anchors, heaps of pearl, inestimable stones, unvalued jewels, all scattered in the bottom of the sea. Some lay in dead men's skulls, and in those holes whose eyes did once inhabit, there were crept, as 'twere in scorn of eyes, reflecting gems, which wooed the slimy bottom of the deep, and mocked the dead bones that lay scattered by. Okay. Elizabeth, you're up next.
I love
Okay,
that.
so
I love that speech so much. Great job.
thank you. So your second monologue is going to be
Hermione.
Hermione. There's where your threat.
I love this play.
So Winter's Tale, Act 3, Scene 2, as we go find that one. Begin, Sir, spare your threats. So whenever you're ready.
Okay. Getting there, getting there, getting there. Sir, spare your threats. The bug which you would fright me with, I seek. To me, can life be no commodity? The crown and comfort of my life, your favor. I do give lost, for I do feel it gone, but know not how it went. My second joy, and first fruits of my body, from his presence I am barred like one infectious. My third comfort, starred most unluckily, is from my breast the innocent milk in its most innocent mouth haled out to murder. Myself on every post proclaimed a strumpet, with immodest hatred, the childbed privilege denied, which longs to women of all fashion. Lastly, hurried here to this place in the open air, before I have got strength of limit. Now, my liege, tell me what blessings I have here alive, that I should fear to die. Therefore proceed. But yet, hear this. Mistake me not. No, life, I prize it not a straw. But for mine honor, which I would free, if I shall be condemned upon surmises, all proofs sleeping else but what your jealousies awake, I tell you, 'tis rigor and not law. Your honors all, I do refer me to the oracle. Apollo be my judge.
Okay, very nice. Awesome. So it's now let's see, Sheila's turn. Her second monologue is going to be Hamlet, Now Might I Do It. Act 3, Scene 3, the one where Claudius is praying. Whenever you're ready.
Now might I do it, Pat. Now he's praying. And now I'll do it. And so he goes to heaven And so I am revenged. That would be scanned. A villain kills my father, and for that I, his sole son, do the same villain send to heaven? Oh, this is higher in salary, not revenge. He took my father grossly, full of bread, with all his crimes, broad blown, as flush as May. And how his audit stands, who knows, save heaven? But in our circumstance and course of thought, 'tis heavy with him. And am I then revenged to take him in the purging of his soul, when he's fit and seasoned for his passage? No, upon sword, no. And know thou a more horrid hint, when he is drunk asleep, or in his rage, or in his incestuous bed, at gaming, swearing, or about some act that has no relish of salvation in it. Then trip him, that his heels may kick at heaven, and that his soul may be as damned and black as hell whereto it goes. My mother stays. This physic but prolongs thy sickly days.
Cecilia. So now we have Bill and Mackie. We'll each do one more, then we'll spin for scenes. Okay, Bill, your next monologue is going to be... Now that I tried. Midsummer Night's Dream, Act 2, Scene 2. Begins now I but chide. Or now but I chide.
Now I but chide, but I should use thee worse, for thou, I fear, hast given me cause to curse. If thou hast slain Lysander in his sleep, being o'er shoes and blood, plunge in the deep and kill me too. The sun was not so true unto the day as he to me, would he have stolen away from sleeping Hermia. I'll believe as soon this whole earth may be bored, and that the moon may through the center creep, and so displease her brother's noontime with antipodes. It cannot be but thou hast murdered him. So should a murderer look so dead, so grim. See?
Didn't realize that one was so short. Good job with short but sweet. Okay, our last monologue before we spin for scenes will be done by Maggie, who is going to do...
Oh boy, it's wonderful. Henry 6-3-1-4. Oh golly, yeah.
One scene 4 of part
Give me
3.
just a second. Henry 6, part 3.
Act 1, scene 4. Whenever you're...
It's Act 1, scene. That's so early in the. Okay. Okay. Brave warriors, Clifford and Northumberland, come. Make him stand upon this molehill here, that wrought at mountains with outstretched arms, yet parted but a shadow with his hand. What? Was it you that would be England's king? Was't you that revelled in our parliament and made a preachment of your high descent? Where are your mess of sons to back you now? The wanton Edward and the lusty George? And where's that valiant crookback prodigy, Dicky, your boy, that with his grumbling voice was wont to cheer his dad in mutinies? Or with the rest, where is your darling Rutland? Look, York, I stained this napkin with the blood that valiant Clifford with his rapier's point made issue from the bosom of the boy. And if thine eyes can water for his death, I give thee this to dry thy cheeks withal. Alas, poor York, but that I hate thee deadly, I should lament thy miserable state. I pray thee, grieve to make me merry, York. What, hath thy fiery heart so parched thine entrails that not a tear can fall for Rutland's death? Why art thou patient, man? Thou shouldst be mad, and I, to make thee mad, do mock thee thus. Stamp, rave, and fret, that I may sing and dance. Thou wouldst be feed, I see, to make me sport. York cannot speak unless he wear a crown. A crown for York! And lords, bow low to him. Hold you his hands while I do set it on. Ay, marry, sir, now looks he like a king. And this is he that took King Henry's chair, and this is he was his adopted heir. But how is it that great Plantagenet is crowned so soon and broke his solemn oath? As I bethink me, you should not be king till our King Henry had shook hands with death. And will you pale your head in Henry's glory and rob his temples of the diadem now in his life against your holy oath? Oh, 'tis a fault too unpardonable. Off with the crown, and with the crown his head. And whilst we breathe, take time to do him dead. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. So good job, everybody. And I see John just made it. He came late, but we're glad that he made it before we missed him. So I went back to the monologue wheel so he can perform a monologue before we spin for scenes. So John, glad you made it. Let's see what the wheel of Shakespeare is going to give you to do before we go for scenes. Maybe not old. So it says King. This is actually from Henry IV. I mean, the character is King. The Prince Hal has just become King Henry V. Is his coronation. Part 2, Act 5, Scene 5 of Henry IV, Part 2. When Falstaff reaches out to him and he says,
"Okay." Okay.
So whenever you're ready.
Okay. All right, Henry IV, Part 2, Scene 5. What scene is it, please? I'm sorry. It's near the end. Is it Scene 5?
Act 5, Scene 5.
Okay. Okay. Oh, here, let me just take, sorry. I just got up. I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers. Oh, how ill white hairs become a fool and gesture. I have long dreamt of such a kind of man, so surfeit swell, so old and so profane. but being awaked, I do despise my dream. Make less thy body hence, and more thy grace. Leave gormandizing. Know the grave doth gape for thee thrice wider than for other men. Reply not to me with a fool-born jest. Presume not that I am the thing I was. For God doth know, so shall the world perceive, that I have turned away my former self. So will I those that kept me company. When thou dost hear I am as I have been, approach me, and thou shalt be as thou wast, the tutor and the feeder of my riots. Till then, I banish thee on pain of death, as I have done the rest of my misleaders, not to come near our person by 10 mile. For confidence of life I will allow you, that lack of means enforce you not to evils. And as we hear you do reform yourselves, we will, according to your strengths and qualities, give you advancement. Be it your charge, my lord, to see perform the tenor of our word. Set on.
Hey, great. Great job today. Great monologues, great performances with them today. Now let's see what scenes the wheel is going to give us to create roles. So first we have King John. Act 4, Scene 2, that's Hubert. And I think this is the scene where Hubert comes to say, I've killed your nephew like you told me to. And once I say, no, I'm going to tell the truth that I actually didn't kill him. Once he finds out that it's not in his political interest for him to have been killed. Merchant of Venice, Antonio and Bassanio. That's the first scene. And Flower, Fluellen, and Pistol. Let's see there. Oh. I'm going to skip this one because that would be, well. Yeah, let's come back to this one because I need roles for 2 more people, and that's a 3-person scene. Oh, Apollo and Desdemona. That's scene 2. Okay, so the 6 roles we have to choose from are Hubert or King John in Act 4, Scene 2, Antonio or Bassanio in the first scene of Merchant of Venice, or Othello and Desdemona in this. I get first pick. I probably would choose Othello, but I have done that one before. I remember it was years ago. I did that. Myself and Maggie did that scene. That was a lot of very intense. But I think I'll do King John in the first scene. I'll take King John. Somebody else will be Hubert. Then Elizabeth, what would you like?
I think I'm going to do Desdemona.
So Elizabeth will do Desdemona. Shelia's next choice. What would you like?
Hubert.
Okay, so will be Hubert to my King John. Bill, what would you like? We got Antonio, Bassanio, or Othello left.
Othello, please.
Okay. So it's Antonio or Bassanio are the 2 that are left. What do you want?
I think I'll take Bassanio.
Okay. So then that leaves John to be Antonio. Okay, so it's going to be first myself and Shelia are going to be King John and Hubert. Then John and Maggie are going to be Antonio and Bassanio. And then Bill and Elizabeth are going to be Othello and Desdemona. So let me create the banner for this first one. Act 4, Scene 2. Let's see where we're going to start with this. So we got Salisbury and Pembroke. I think this is where the nobles are. They're going to make him pay if he killed Arthur, and that's why. So enter Hubert. Pembroke and Salisbury are still there for a little bit. Did I get the wrong scene?
No, it's way down.
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry. Sometimes I wrote down the wrong scene number, and I was wondering. Let's see, so John and the Bastard. Re-enter. So it'd be with re-enter Hubert, my lord. They say 5. Is that where we're starting?
That's it.
My lord. Okay, great. So you have the first line. Go and start with that.
My lord, they say 5 moons were seen tonight, 4 fixed, and the 5th did whirl about the other 4 in wondrous motion.
5 moons.
Old men and bedlams in the streets do prophesy upon it dangerously. Young Arthur's death is common in their mouths, and when they talk of him, they shake their heads and whisper one another in the ear. And he that speaks doth grip the heart's wrist, whilst he that hears makes fearful action with wrinkled brows, with nods, with rolling eyes. I saw a smith stand with his hammer thus, the while his iron did on the anvil cool, with open mouth swallowing a tailor's news, who, with his shears and measure in his hand, standing on slippers, which his nimble haste had falsely thrust upon contrary feet, told of a many thousand warlike French that were embattled and ranked in Kent. Another lean, unwashed artificer cut off his tail, and talks of Arthur's death.
Why seekst thou to possess me with these fears? Why urgest thou so oft young Arthur's death? Thy hand hath murdered him. I had a mighty cause to wish him dead, but thou hadst none to kill him.
Not had, my lord. Why, did you not provoke me?
It is the curse of kings to be attended by slaves that take their humors for a warrant to break within the bloody house of life, and on the winking of authority to understand a law, to know the meaning of dangerous majority, but perchance it frowns more upon humor than advised respect.
Here is your hand and seal for what I did.
Oh, when the last account twixt heaven and earth is to be made, then shall this hand and seal witness against us to damnation. How oft the sight of means to do ill deeds make deeds ill done. Hadst not thou been by a fellow by the hand of nature marked, quoted and signed to do a deed of shame, this murder had not come into my mind. But taking note of thy abhorred aspect, finding thee fit for bloody villainy, apt liable to be employed in danger, I faintly broke with thee of Arthur's death, and thou, to be endeared to a king, made it no conscience to destroy a prince.
My lord.
Hadst thou but shook thy head, or made a pause when I spake darkly what I purposed, or turned an eye of doubt upon my face, has bid me tell my tale in express words, deep shame had struck me dumb, made me break off. And those thy fears might have wrought fears in me. But thou didst understand me by my signs, and didst in signs again parley with sin. Yea, without stop, didst let thy heart consent, and consequently thy rude hand to act the deed which both our tongues held vile to name. Out of my sight, and never see me more. My nobles leave me, and my state is braved, even at my gates, with ranks of foreign powers. Nay, in the body of this fleshy land, this kingdom, this confine of blood and breath, hostility and civil tumult reigns between my conscience and my cousin's death.
Arm you against your other enemies. I'll make a peace between your soul and you. Young Arthur is alive. This hand of mine is yet a maiden, and an innocent hand, not painted with a crimson spot of blood. Within this bosom never entered yet the dreadful motion of a murderous thought, and you have slandered nature in my form, which, howsoever rude exteriorly, it yet the cover of a fairer mind than to be butcher of an innocent child.
Arthur live? Oh, haste thee to the peers. Throw this report on their insensate rage and make them tame to their obedience. Forgive the comment that my passion made upon thy feature, for my age was blind, and foul imaginary eyes of blood presented thee more hideous than thou art. Oh, answer not, but to my closest bring the angry lords with all expedient haste. I conjure thee, but slowly. Run, move fast. Okay. That was nice. Okay, so now we have Antonio and Bassanio, which are going to be John and Maggie. John and Maggie. Have you found that kind of? I mean, it's a long first scene. We start with the Antonios with the Salario and Solanio, and then when they go off, it's just him. And have you found where to start from, you two?
I have, but
John,
after I went to Exeunt, Graziano, and Lorenzo.
Okay, what play is it? I should know by the number.
Merchant of Venice. First scene.
Very
Which
first
one?
scene,
Which one did you say?
Merchant of Venice.
Oh,
Sorry, I wrote it in a text to you, but I think you didn't know.
I
Anyway.
get it. Okay.
Very first scene, but it's towards the end of the scene.
Okay, I'll get it here. Richard of Venice. Somehow I got those names confused. Act 5.
The very beginning, first act.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry.
It's around, well, in my version, it's 100 and starts at line 117.
Okay, and what is the?
You're Antonio, and I'm Bassanio, and we're two friends. Bassanio wants to woo a woman, and he's going to need to borrow some money from his friend who's a merchant, Antonio.
Oh, okay. And who's first? What's the name?
You are. You start with, is that anything?
Okay.
Yeah, the guys before them have been being kind of, guy talk.
Okay, I've got it. Thank you. Thanks for your help there, Maggie. Okay. Okay. Is that anything now?
Graziano speaks an infinite deal of nothing, more than any man in all Venice. His reasons are as 2 grains of wheat hid in 2 bushels of chaff. You shall seek all day ere you find them, and when you have them, they are not worth the search.
Well, tell me now what lady is the same to whom you swore a secret pilgrimage that you today promised to tell me of.
'Tis not unknown to you, Antonio, how much I have disabled mine estate by something showing a more swelling port than my faint means would grant continuance. Nor do I now make moan to be abridged from such a noble rate, but my chief care is to come fairly off from the great debts wherein my time something too prodigal hath left me gaged. To you, Antonio, I owe the most in money and in love, and from your love I have a warranty to unburden all my plots and purposes, how to get clear of all the debts I owe.
I pray you, good Bassanio, let me know it. And if it stand, as you yourself shall do, within the eye of honor, be assured, my person, my extremest means lie all unlocked to your occasions.
In my school days, when I had lost one shaft, I shot his fellow of the self-same flight to the self-same way with more advised watch, to find the other forth, and by adventuring both, I oft found both. I urge this childhood proof because what follows is pure innocence. I owe you much, and like a willful youth to which I owe is lost. But if you please to shoot another arrow that self way which you did shoot the first, I do not doubt, as I will watch the aim, or to find both and bring your latter hazard back again and thankfully rest debtor for the first.
You know me well, and herein spend but time to wind about my love with circumstance. And out of doubt, you do me now more wrong in making question of my uttermost than if you had made waste of all I have. Then do but say to me what I should do, that in your knowledge may by me be done, and I am pressed unto it, therefore speak.
In Belmont is a lady richly left, and she is fair, and fairer than that word, of wondrous virtues. Sometimes from her eyes I did receive fair speechless messages. Her name is Portia, nothing undervalued to Cato's daughter, Brutus Portia. Nor is the wide world ignorant of her worth, for the four winds blow in from every coast renowned suitors, and her sunny locks hang on her temples like a golden fleece, which makes her seat of Belmont Colchos strand, and many Jasons come in quest of her. Oh, my Antonio, had I but the means to hold a rival place with one of them, I have a mind presages me such thrift that I should questionless be fortunate.
Thou knowest that all my fortunes are at sea, neither have I money nor commodity to raise a present sum. Therefore go forth, try what my credit can in Venice do, that shall be racked even to the uttermost to furnish thee to Belmont, to fair Portia. Go presently inquire, and so will I, where money is, and I have no question make to have it of my trust and for my sake.
Okay, nice job, you two. All right, so lastly, we have our Othello and Desdemona scene. Let's get Bill and Elizabeth. Okay, so you're ready to go? Top of Act 5, Scene 2.
Okay. It is the cause, my soul. Let me not name it to you, you chaste stars. It is the cause. Yet I'll not shed her blood, nor scar that whiter skin of hers than snow, as smooth as monumental alabaster. Yet she must die, else she'll portray more men. Put out the light, and then put out the light. If I quench thee, thou flaming minister, I can again thy former light restore, should I repent me. But once put out thy light, thou cunningest pattern of excelling nature, I know not where is that Promethean heat that can thy light relume. When I have plucked the rose, I cannot give it vital growth again. It must needs wither. I'll smell it on the tree. Balmy breath that dost almost persuade justice to break her sword. One more. One more. Be thus when thou art dead, and I will kill thee and love thee after. One more. And this the last. So sweet was ne'er so fatal. I must weep. But they are cruel tears, the sorrow's heavenly. It strikes where doth love. She wakes.
Who's there? Othello!
Aye, Desdemona.
Will you come to bed, my lord?
Have you prayed tonight, Desdemona?
Aye, my lord.
If you bethink yourself of any crime unreconciled as yet to heaven and grace, solicit for it straight.
Alack, my lord, what may you mean by that?
Well, do it, and be brief. I will walk by. I would not kill thy unprepared spirit. No, heaven forfend, I would not kill thy soul.
Talk you of killing?
Aye, I do.
Then heaven have mercy on me.
Amen, with all my heart.
If you say so, I hope you will not kill me.
Huh?
And yet I fear you, for you're fatal then when your eyes roll so. Why I should fear, I know not, since guiltiness I know not. But yet I fear.
Think on thy sins.
They are loves I bear to you.
Aye, and for that thou diest.
That death's unnatural that kills for loving. Alas, why gnaw you so your nether lip? Some bloody passion shakes your very frame. These are portents, but yet I hope they do not point on me.
Peace and be still.
I will so. What's the matter?
This handkerchief which I so loved and gave thee, thou gavest to Cassio.
No, by my life and soul. Send for the man and ask him.
Sweet soul, take heed. Take heed of perjury. Thou art on thy deathbed.
But not yet to die.
Yes, presently. Therefore confess thee freely of thy sin. For to deny each article with oath cannot remove nor choke the strong conception that I do groan withal. Thou art to die.
Then Lord have mercy on me.
I say amen.
And have you mercy too. I never did offend you in my life, never loved Cassio, but with such general warranty of heaven as I might love, I never gave him token.
By heaven, I saw my handkerchief in his hand. O perjured woman, thou dost stone my heart and makes me call what I intend to do a murder, which I thought a sacrifice. I saw the handkerchief.
He found it then. I never gave it him. Send for him hither. Let him confess a truth.
He hath confessed.
What, my lord?
That he has used thee.
How? Unlawfully.
Aye.
He will not say so.
No, his mouth is stopped. Honest Iago hath taken order for it.
Oh, my fear interprets. What is he dead?
Had all his hairs been lives, my great revenge had stomach for them all.
Alas, he is betrayed, and I undone.
Out, strumpet, weepst thou for him to my face?
Oh, banish me, my lord, but kill me not.
Down, strumpet.
Kill me tomorrow. Let me live tonight.
Nay, if you strive,
But half an hour.
be done, there is no pause.
But while I say one prayer,
It is too late. What noise is this? Not dead? Not quite dead?
Okay, great job, you two. Good performances today, everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you for participating. Love the job with the monologues and the scenes. We got good choices. The wheel made good choices for us today. And we had some good performances. Thank you, everybody. Look forward to seeing you same time next week on this channel for the Wheel of Shakespeare Challenge. See you then. Bye now, everybody.